So we are back from a recess. Here we go. So Cassie is still on the stand and cross-examination is still proceeding. What they're trying to show here is that after a freak off, after 2 days of playing this freak off, she was still responding with explicit messages. She talked about that, like, even after the freak off, she was still wanting to do some explicit things. Like, again, what they're trying to show is that she was a willing participant. She was in charge of all of the freak offs. But it appears that even in this, she was still asking Diddy for approval. Some things that was going on, going to certain places to buy candles. And the defense also wanted to show that she was aware that videos was being taken of her while she was doing these freak offs. And also that she wanted the drugs as well. Some of the same things the defense is talking about, the prosecution brought out that she was on opioids. They talked about her deleting messages off of her devices, and they wanted to know exactly what she wrote. The defense, y'all, they playing a dirty game over here. They basically trying to show that Cassie was in such love with Diddy and she wanted these things to happen. Like down here, she texted him that she needed to feel this. This is my husband, the only one who will see this side of me. Lord. The defense is wanting to show that Cassie is jealous. And that even in this message where she said that he was her husband and he's the only one that can see that side of her, they asked her, was she afraid of Diddy? And she said that was a concern. They asked her, was she in a public relationship with him? And she said yes. And she said, was the freak offs important? And she said it was integral to us. Not only that, they asked her, was she afraid that Diddy was only seeing her for sex? And of course, she said that was a concern. They talked about her 21st birthday party. Dallas Austin was there. Britney Spears was there. And they asked her, how did they get there? Sean got them there. So the defense, like I said, y'all, they playing a dirty game with her. They saying, oh, she's beautiful, she's charming, and thank you. And what they're trying to say is that maybe she is manipulating the jury, y'all. Like, wow, this is huge, man. They talked about her being an upcoming star. Tommy Mottola was actually a well-known producer, and they asked her, was her relationship with Diddy still platonic after she signed with Bad Boy? And of course, she said yes. They talked about a performance that she did on 106 in Park where she pretty much bombed it out. And the reason why she bombed it out, she stated that she couldn't hear herself, I guess, when she was singing. And so, like, in return, Diddy comforted her and he told her everybody makes mistakes, and they did a YouTube video instead. They bringing out a relationship that she had with Ryan Leslie, saying that Ryan Leslie was 10 years older than her and that she still traveled to Miami to see Diddy. Not only did she fly to Miami, but her and Diddy created a flyer to fool Ryan Leslie to make it seem like she was going on business, but she was really going on pleasure. They bring out that she had gotten 3 tattoos on her body of Sean Diddy. And she basically said no regrets. She doesn't regret getting the tattoos. They go on to say that Diddy was the one who taught Cassie how to do sex, how to perform fellatio. And not only that, but she wrote a text message to him saying that she felt protected and that he was sweet. She chose not to read the message because she said the message was making her laugh. So, of course, the defense attorney actually read the message. This message here is actually a journal entry, according to Cassie. And it basically say that Carrie is better fitting for you. I'm hurt that you think I'm malicious. You're very important to me. And they asked her, what was she trying to convey? Basically, she told them it's just a journal entry. They talk about Carrie Morgan. They asked her, did she think that Diddy was attracted to her? And she said that was a concern in the beginning. And They asked her, did that complicate their relationship? And she said, not really. Carrie was always with us. This photo here is actually Carrie Morgan and actually Cassie. Back to court we go. Now they're getting ready to get into the freak offs. They asked her, did she wear a wig, a mask, like a disguise? And basically she said, yes, she did. The public didn't know about it until November 2023. And the general public did not know. Of course, the prosecution objected to it. And the judge made them rephrase the question. Wow. So the defense is going with, is it fair to say that Sean Diddy career was over after the lawsuit? And of course she said yes. Then they go back to the messages. What they're trying to do is sway the jury of their perception of Cassie right now. They go on to talk about Diddy asking Cassie, when was she on her menstrual cycle? She let him know she was on it then. And then he asked her, like, what do you be thinking about when you're, or whatever. They talked about after the freak off, she will go back and she will make love to Diddy. And of course she said yes. Dang. So they're talking about here about Diddy trying to schedule freak offs around her menstrual cycle. Like, when does she have it? And then also that Cassie had watched Diddy have with other women about 2 to 3 times. And also that she was keeping freak offs secret from her friends. Wow, they're really trying to trip up Cassie right here. She said that, would she remember if the assistant came in one of the sessions with an escort? And Cassie's response was, not necessarily, I was high. And so the attorney said, so you don't remember much? And basically she was saying that her privacy was invaded. But what they're trying to show here is, if she can't remember that, how does she remember so many other details about what happened during the freak offs? Ugh. So right after a freak off, she texts Diddy and she let him know that she's still, and she was bored as well. There's like 25 pages of text message thread. And so the defense has put this into the exhibit for evidence. Now, this evidence will not be shown to the public, but Cassie is going to have to read them. They were going on about reasons why Diddy will call her all the time is because he did not trust her, because he thought that she was cheating. Of course, the prosecution objected to it. Not only that, they talked about how he would tear her down, but he would call her queen. He was building her up. The defense is trying to show here that Sean John has good taste in fashion, and Cassie agreed. And they asked her, did she ever consult with Diddy for fashion advice? And she said she didn't consult with him. She got advice that she did not ask for. I believe this is a win for the defense on this question, because they asked Cassie, what was Diddy addicted to? And instead of him saying, she said success, because even with all the freak offs, he was still running his companies. So basically, this line of questioning here is basically saying that it wasn't Diddy doing everything. It was the drugs, because he was withdrawing from opioids. Wow. And of course, the prosecution objected. And the judge says, I asked if I want the ground. So the judge sustained it and asked them to rephrase the question. So the defense asked Cassie, what drug of choice did Diddy do? And of course, it was ecstasy, MDMA. And they asked her, has she seen him having withdrawal? She said yes. And asked her, was he taking drugs daily, the opioids daily? And she said when he was doing them. So the judge is ready for a break. Asked the defense, where are they in their cross-examination? Will they be finished today? So basically, the judge wants them to streamline things, hurry up and get this cross over with. And the defense is saying, like, they trying to give complaints saying that they don't have enough time. And the judge is saying, like, you just got to rush things, because Cassie may end up going into labor this weekend, and she is the most important witness. So we'll break right here. Drop down in the comment area. Let me know how do you think the defense is doing? Anyway, here first, where Kimmy's world is your world.